is these bitches and voting. Guys, we got to ban women from phones. I'm gonna just keep it an absolute stack. We got to ban these bitches from phones. We cannot let these bitches have cellular devices. These hoes don't know what to do with this shit. It is fucking up their minds and ruining the country. And for what reason is this the case? Well, the problem is with women, right? They are not good at discernment. They're not good at protecting their minds from psyoping and propaganda. If you want to ruin a fucking country, all you need to actually do is go after the women. Not physically, mentally. Make them think things that they don't actually believe to be true. Make those things become true for them. Because think about it, throughout all of time, throughout the entire existence of women throughout the world, it's always been men are the providers, women are the nurturers. Men are superior to women. That's always been what it was. Always, throughout all of time. All of a sudden, you reach the 1960s, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? No, I'm equal to you. I'm equal to you. Even though throughout all of human history, and the existence of man and woman, and all the biblical texts, the main three Abrahamic religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, it's always been the man is a leader, the man is a leader, the man is a leader. And then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, the 1960s onward, women are like, you know what? That's not true. Actually, we are equal to you. And in some ways, we're actually superior to you. It's like, nigga, how did this happen? Like, what the fuck? Or more so, 1960s, this started. Gloria Steinem pushed feminism. She was Jewish, by the way. And we already know now that a lot of these Jewish niggas push a lot of this nonsense that we're dealing with now with all this progressivism and leftism now. They push this shit like crazy. So it all started in the 1960s. And as I said before, the phones are the problem or a big issue. Why? Because the minute the iPhone got created, 2007, iPhone got created. And then the primary social media platform started getting created, 2011. When you get your Snapchat, your Instagram, all started getting created, like that mass social media boom. Women started getting pulled even more aggressively to the left, even more aggressively to the progressivism, even more aggressively to the, you know what, I actually think I'm equal to a man. You know what, I actually can do everything that men do. You know what, I should be independent from a man. You know what, I could actually live my own life and make my own decisions. They all started getting pulled this fucking way. Because the thing is, as I was saying, women can't protect their minds from psyoping and propaganda. Like, for example, with these bitches that are on TikTok, Instagram, and seeing reels and all this other bullshit on the For You page, there could be a video of someone saying that, you know, women are getting raped, y'all. Women, you got to be careful. Women are out there getting raped out of nowhere. Niggas are just raping you. Niggas are just sexually harassing niggas everywhere. And a woman will watch a video like that and instantly believe it. Women don't question things like men do because women prioritize their emotions. They prioritize how they feel over what is real. Meaning if they feel like something is true, they believe it is true. They don't think, is this true? They think, do I feel like this is true? Yes, okay, truth. Because they prioritize how they feel over what is real. So when they're watching all this bullshit on social media, all this propaganda on social media, with all these different leftist and progressive ideologies. You know what? Kids should be able to cut their dicks off and all gender is fine and there's a billion genders. Women are out here getting raped like crazy, all these different things. She watches a video on this. Do you think a woman is like stopping and thinking and being like, no, is this true? What is actually going on? Let me go search this up. What do my personal experiences look like with this? You know, let me research this. Let me look at the stats, the data. Let me go look at all these different things. Do you guys think the average woman is doing this shit? No, the average woman doesn't give a fuck. She just sees thing on phone, feels emotion, and then believe and creates a new belief in her mind. That's what happens. Because it's not like she just sees a video of any of this progressive nonsense once or twice. She's scrolling and watching this shit every single fucking day. She scrolls her For You page every single fucking day on Instagram, on TikTok. She scrolls and watches this bullshit every single day. And like I said, women don't protect their minds. So when they see information, they absorb information. You guys already know more than likely that if you want to prevent yourself from being influenced by something, you have to be regularly questioning what you're seeing and listening to from a content perspective. Even if you're listening to me right now, you have to be like, okay, let me actually understand what Ali's trying to say. Let me look at my own personal experiences. Let me look at what I have seen. Like, you're in a position where you're not just believing what I'm saying at face value. Maybe some of you niggas are, because some niggas are retarded. Don't get it twisted. Some of you niggas are dumb. But for my smart and competent guys watching this, you're in this position where, like, okay, is Ali actually making sense here? Am I actually seeing this? Am I connecting dots with my own personal experiences? You're like, is this actually true? So you're actually picking and choosing whether to believe me or not. But for women, if I'm just saying shit and it's making them feel a type of way, they're just going to believe it. That's why a big thing that countries will do, at least in America, when we want to go to war for something, if we show like a dog dying, for example, in a war in the Middle East, for example, a lot of the women are going to be up in arms about that. Like, oh my God, we got to go to war. They're killing dogs. You see what I'm saying? Because they know that women are going to respond emotionally to certain things. So you can make women do things or make bad decisions if you can make them feel a certain type of way. So we gave these bitches phones and free reign and free autonomy to make their own decisions. And now we have phones that can push out all of this nonsense, and they don't check themselves. They're not protecting their minds. They're not making sure that they're developing beliefs that aren't actually true. They're not checking any of their beliefs. They're just, hey, phone said this. Phone said guys raping women. Guys are raping women. Even though it's happening 0.5% of the time, in their minds, it's happening all the time everywhere. Because that's what they feel to be true. That's what the conditioning has done to them of them scrolling their social media feed over and over and over again. So now all of these bitches agree with a lot of this bullshit that they don't actually believe because they don't actually protect their minds. Women don't have real beliefs, niggas. Women don't actually have real beliefs. And this is actually biological, because the thing is, throughout human history, like, at least when things started from the basics, so men had their women and the men fought wars. And when the men went to go fight wars, if they lost to the enemies would come in and take those new women, or take the guys who's lost women. They would take the women from them. And these women would have to detach from the men that they previously had quickly in order to survive. So women are able to naturally lose beliefs and then regain new ones quickly, because it's destined for their survival. They need to do it in order to survive, because they can't survive if they can't lose beliefs. If they still have attachments and loyalties to the previous men they were with, they die. So because they die off, it got passed on genetically that the women who were able to detach from men quickly would survive. Because they're like, okay, I don't give a fuck about that nigga that you just killed. I'm going to go with this guy now because I want to pass on my genes and survive. It's for that reason that women will prioritize their emotions, because emotions are fleeting. Emotions change. This is why you never say like a woman of her word. This is why we don't hold women to any standards or any male type standards in terms of being disciplined, focused, and consistent. That's a man thing. Men are supposed to be able to reject how they feel in order to be productive and get things done. Because if you're not consistent, if you're not focused, if you're not disciplined, you can't get shit done. So that's a male thing. That's why being a man of your word and men having honor, we expect that from men, because that's how we get things done. That's how we perform at high levels. For women, we don't hold them to that standard. So women tend to prioritize their emotions. This allows them to detach from things or people quickly and go to reattach to something else. This is why it's super easy to psyop women if there's no man to protect her. That's why a lot of these women are leftists and liberals and agree with all of this progressive bullshit, not because they actually believe in the shit, but because they've been psyoped to believe it is true and it actually makes sense. Because, as I said, women don't question their beliefs. They just feel things are true and then agree with it. And women also fall very strongly for peer pressure. If everybody's believing shit and women are communitarian by nature, they're going to just agree with it too, because the masses agree with that shit. But men are different. We're like, fuck no, this isn't true. And we're willing to fight niggas over that shit. We're willing to fight and die for our beliefs and values. Men have always been able to do that throughout all of time. Men have always led all revolutions ever. You know what I'm saying? So we're the ones who fight and die for ideas. Women don't do that shit. Women just be existing under the ideas that the men are creating. So I look at this shit, I'm like, nigga, this is why like we can't have them have phones, bro. Like, because when they have these phones, a lot of this bullshit is coming from the phone. Like the main spikes towards the left for a lot of these women has come from the phones, bro. They were watching all this progressive bullshit that dominates media, entertainment, their TikTok feeds, and social media. Because the social media is overwhelmingly left. It's been that way for massively over the past 10 years, overwhelmingly left. Like right wingers and people who are on the right, they're on the fringe ends of social media. It's only because censorship got rolled back a little bit with the Trump administration that it's been better. But for a long time, niggas have gotten pushed away. So women are obviously going to go with what the masses think, because that's all they're fucking seeing on their phone. They're not going to question. Women don't question things. Women just listen to whatever the man in her life, the strongest man in her life, thinks. That's just what happens. That's why, for the most part, most women are going to fall into leftist ideology unless they have a strong man in their life. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Nigga, we need to ban these fucking phones, bro. Because if we ban the phone, then a woman's family or the man or her father that is hopefully in her life can have more control over what she thinks and sees. That's why most women who are conservative, it's because they've had some father figure, some masculine figure that's been able to control them, or who has had a strong impression on their life to make sure, like, hey, no, you got to respect men, you got to do these different things. And even those bitches are kind of cooked for the most part. A lot of these conservative women are whores too. Like, they still subscribe to a lot of the feminist bullshit. They will say all the traditional shit because it sounds nice, but they're always gonna fall back to the feminist bullshit when they need to. A lot of these conservative e-girls and all this other shit, like and Emily Saves America and all this other bullshit. Like, they seem conservative on the surface because they say the bullshit, but they're actually whores. You know? So like, the feminism has already infested a lot of fucking society. So I'm like, these bitches can't have phones anymore, bro. Do I ever think this would happen where these bitches have no phones? Obviously the fuck not. But I'm saying this for you guys to understand that this is where we're at. Like, women don't protect their minds from propaganda and all this other fucking nonsense. That's why they can vote for things that go against their fucking interests. If a lot of you niggas are curious, like, women will vote for immigrants to come in here that are violent or whatever. Or like, especially when you look at the UK, for example. Like, bitches are getting, not even just UK, bitches are getting raped in Sweden and all this other shit. You know? So the thing is, women will see that as bad and say, hey, we need to get protected, and then be voting for the shit that brings that nonsense to them. And guys are sitting there like, what the fuck? And they don't understand. This is the problem with women. Women don't solve their own problems. Women expect men to solve their problems. All women do is ask for things. They ask for men to do things. They're like, somebody, oh, women out here get raped. Men need to do better. Men need to do better. So all women know how to do is beg harder. And usually when it comes to leftist and progressive ideology, it's always like, we need to give women more stuff, give women more stuff. So women hear that and think, okay, if I want men to protect us and provide for us, I have to keep voting left, not realizing that's the shit that's giving more niggas to other people. Because women also are designed biologically to take care of babies or to take care of children. So the thing is, because of that, when they hear or listen to a lot of leftist progressive ideology that's saying, hey, we got to provide and give stuff to people and help people, they're still going to vote that way because that's how they feel. That's what they feel is right. Women just, like I said, women just do what they feel is right. Men need to tell them what to do so they do the right thing. Women cannot make the right decisions on their own because they choose to do what they feel is right, not what is right. Men do what is right. Women do what they feel is right. I hope you guys are seeing the congruency here with women's behavior. Women just do things they feel like doing. If you can get women to feel shit, they will do it. For men, we do what we think is correct. We think logically. You've probably already heard this a million times. Or maybe this is the first time you've heard this shit because we live in this cucked out, feminized society. But men, we look at things logically. We're like paying attention to the situation, look at the facts, the data, the stats, or whatever. For women, it doesn't matter. This is why women can actively vote against their interests all the fucking time. Because women just do what they feel is the right thing. Oh, if I want guys to take care of me and get rid of these migrants that are raping all the niggas everywhere, get rid of Muhammad who's raping niggas everywhere, I just have to vote to help everyone in the world. That's how I've always voted. That's what feels right. You see what I'm saying? They're not thinking about this shit. We have to think about this shit. They don't have to think about it. They just do things. And that's what has made this feminism and all this other bullshit so dangerous, because we've let women be independent. When women are on their own, they can't take responsibility for shit. So they make horrible decisions and they'll still blame men for it, because that's how women just are. Men solve the problems. Women just exist, but men are the problem solvers. When women want a problem solved, they ask a man. When men want a problem solved, they solve it themselves. It's how things have always existed. And this even brings me to a further point that I want to make here about when it comes to even just voting and what it's like to be a civilian man in the current West, and what you need to understand. You might not be physically at war. You might not be in the military right now. Maybe some of you guys have served. Thank you for your service, guys. I love you niggas. I love niggas that serve in the army, that are willing to fight and die for our freedoms. I love that shit. But for my guys that are not in the military and don't plan to go in the military, you're still in a war, bro. You need to understand, as a civilian, you might not be in a physical war, but you're in a mental one. You're in a psychological one. Domestically, we constantly have a psychological warfare going on. When it comes to all the things that you see, when it comes to the news, the media, entertainment, there's a psychological warfare going on. People are trying to convince you of ideas that don't serve you or serve the country. As I was just going through the whole spiel about women here, women lose psychological wars all the fucking time. They're stupid, nigga. Women are stupid. Like, they're not going to be, they prioritize how they feel over what is real, which makes them stupid, right? So for that reason, they lose psychological wars. And a lot of women have lost a psychological war. If we literally just took out women's vote, we would be fine. The country would be improving nicely. It's because women have this freedom that they vote in stupid ass ways, because they prioritize how they feel over what is real. They prioritize what they feel is right over what is right. Understand? So as a man, especially, because some of you niggas are retarded, you need to make sure that you are winning the psychological battle. You need to make sure you are not just believing things. Luckily, we're in the day and age where there's independent media and independent news. We're not all watching fucking MSNBC and Fox News and all the mainstream media. Now we can watch on X. You can watch niggas on Rumble. Like, there's so much more news you can watch to make sure you're actually getting the facts and the real truth behind things. So this helps you in the psychological battle to make sure that you're not being forced to believe and agree with ideas that don't actually make sense or serve the country or serve America. So you can break away from a lot of this progressive and leftist and liberal ideology. So you can question things more. When you're watching anyone or anything, you should be questioning things. You should be like, okay, what are they trying to make me feel? What are they trying to make me see here? Does this actually make sense of reality? Let me look at my own personal experiences. Let me look at the experiences of people around me. Am I seeing congruent ideas? Let me look at the stats. Let me look at the data. So you can come to your own conclusions. So you can stand by what you actually think is right, rather than just believing shit just because somebody fucking told you. Even if I say shit to you, I say these things to you because this is what I see based off the information and data I have collected from my own experiences and the experiences of people around me. I come to conclusions and I tell you niggas. And then I expect you niggas to do the same work. You just take the information I give you and you're like, okay, let me look at the stats. Let me look at the data. That actually makes sense when Ali made that point or this point. Let me look at my own personal experiences. Let me look at the experiences of people around me and then come to my conclusion. This way, you can always stand by what you believe is the right thing. It takes work to believe in the right thing. You can't just trust whatever anybody on the internet is ever telling you anywhere. You have to actually do work to know and stand by the right thing. Women don't do this work. That's why they can get psyops. That's why if you want to fuck up a country, let women be free and let them consume media and entertainment and all this different shit for free with no regulations at all. Just do whatever they want. Of course, they're going to believe in bullshit. They're dumb.